Xbox is hitting the reset button. Microsoft is laying off 3,200 workers from its Xbox division over the course of the financial year, with 1,600 jobs being cut immediately. Part of these cuts includes 5 studios splitting from Xbox. Psychonauts developers Double Fine Productions and South of Midnight developer Compulsion Games have become independent studios and will keep the IPs to their games, along with some financial runway for each's next game. Senua developer Ninja Theory and State of Decay developer Undead Labs have been sold to unknown buyers. Finally, Dishonored developer Arcane will also leave Xbox, but details on how the studio is leaving is not being disclosed as required by French law. The remaining layoffs will be across the other studios under the Xbox brand. Although not detailed in the initial announcement, the details have been seeping out over the past 2 weeks. The Outer Worlds developer Obsidian Entertainment has lost 52 developers and canceled Avowed 2 in order to work on a new Fallout title. Bethesda has been significantly impacted, with 213 employees cut from Elder Scrolls Online developer ZeniMax Online, 166 employees at ZeniMax Media, and 136 developers at id Software, including most of its coders, and some describing the cuts as having regulated the studio to support studio size. id Software's proprietary id Tech engine may also be abandoned for Unreal Engine. Some other effects of this reset is that Xbox has also cut its collaboration with IO Interactive, developer of the Hitman series and the recent 007 First Light. Codenamed Project Fantasy, IO has confirmed it will continue working on the project despite Xbox pulling its funding, resulting in the studio closing its Istanbul branch. Structurally, Minecraft and Candy Crush publisher Mojang and King respectively will report to CEO Ashish Sharma directly, and Xbox has appointed its first ever Chief Operating Officer, former Minecraft boss Helen Chang. As a result of these layoffs, Compulsion Games has announced it's looking for support work for other titles. State of Decay 3 might not be available on Game Pass since it's no longer owned by Xbox, and union workers at Bethesda organized protests on July 15th. I took so long to report on this story because details about it just kept coming out, and I just couldn't find a point to cut it off until now. I've heard some journalists actually say that they're praising Ashish Sharma for being so transparent about all the cuts that are coming to Xbox, but most of the details I got from the story were after the initial announcement and over the course of the last 2 weeks. Something that I will point out is that a lot of people are saying that a lot of these cuts had to be made because right now Xbox is operating at a 3% profit margin. That's bad. That means for every $100 that they spent, they made $3. That's not good. However, I want to point out that they were not losing money. They were still profitable. They were not operating actually at a loss. So that means that these layoffs were not because they couldn't afford these people. It's just that they don't have enough money as profit. And I am, for one, somebody who thinks that the only reason you should be having layoffs is if you cannot afford to pay people anymore. And that's not the case here, which means these layoffs, no matter how you want to rationalize it, is still ultimately screwed up. Now, just to, I don't know, like make a joke of what's going on or something, I don't even know. Ashish Sharma, the current CEO of Xbox, has joined as an advisor to the US Federal Reserve for jobs and productivity. She just laid off 3,200 people. What the hell? What makes you think she would know about keeping jobs and keeping productivity when all she's doing is laying off people? Some other little details I want to point out just because there's not really anywhere to put them in the story that I wrote. id Software is currently back to the size that it was when it made Doom 2016, which a lot of people in the company are trying to pass off as being a good thing. While I can understand you trying to make it sound like, hey, we've been this size before, we can be this size again. I understand that, but still being gutted, all these people, not to mention that those people who had those jobs is still devastating. You're not going to learn how to operate once again at a smaller size like overnight. And finally, right at the tail end when I was writing the story, it was announced that Bethesda is working on all these Fallout projects, including the one with Obsidian. Apparently, Bethesda and Obsidian are going to work together on it. It's supposed to be a new game. It may or may not be Fallout 5. I'm not entirely sure about that. But actually, here's the thing. They just announced that, yeah, we're making Fallout 5. There might be another new Fallout game. And we're also working on remasters of Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, which are the most popular Fallout games. And then that was it. They didn't give any details. They didn't give like who's working on what. They didn't say any kind of release date or release window, platforms, how long it's going to take, nothing. And it's clearly just to kind of distract everyone from all the bad news that have happened here with all these layoffs. I don't even really know what to say here because at the end of the day, it's sort of what I've been saying for several weeks now, if not months, if not years. It sucks because there's all these layoffs and all these people who are probably going to be working at other companies, at other industries, because the video game industry is just shrinking. And I really just don't know what to make of this anymore, because I mean, they even said that one of their priorities for the company is the Doom and Quake series, which are id Software's games that they just laid off a huge chunk amount of. How are you supposed to make those games without the people who made it? It baffles my mind. It just shows that, one, I was right about Ashley Sharma. She was here to gut the people. Not to make light of it, but it reminds me of an episode of 30 Rock when the show was getting completely gutted with people, and they brought in this guy to make the cuts, and one line he has is, look, I understand you don't want to be the bad guy here, but I don't know any of these people, and I just got to make the cuts I got to make. That is the thing. That's why they brought Ashley Sharma in. We already know that she doesn't know video games. She doesn't know what's precious and what's not. So of course she was like, this id Software, whatever the hell company, doesn't seem to be making us as much money as I would like. Cut them all out. And this is what we're getting. Legendary studios that she knows nothing about are getting gutted. I don't see how this is actually going to help things. If you are not making as much money as you need to, then you need to start making games that are going to make you the money you want. And you can't do that without the people that you hired to make the games. Someone take a freaking pay cut. Just let me know what you think about this in the comments, and follow for more gaming news. Peace and love, gamers and players. This has been the Colorwind News Special Report, and I'm out.